Tay,
You
and
know what she got, Big PJR. We in the building.
we like to call this a safe space to have beautiful but uncomfortable conversations unapologetically.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Today we have
Mm.
a woman with so many titles who's legendary in the game: executive producer, producer, the first woman to place and produce a show on Starz.
I have to do my homework.
One of the first ladies of Death Row.
I love it.
And I'm talking about way back Ruthless Record, Death Row. Stylist to the legendary Bobby Brown, New Edition. I mean, she's a woman of, so she wears so many hats.
So she the reason Bobby look fly. Okay, okay.
My Bobby, yes, Bobby in New Edition, and 100 a movie and television titles behind my back, unionized baby.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Kenya Ware.
Hi, everybody.
Thank you for joining us, my sister. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. You know, I mean, I'm on the West Coast, and if you smiling and you got a roof over your head and all that, you're doing good.
Absolutely, absolutely. What they say, West Side is the best side, right?
Hey.
All day long.
That's right. That's right. You see, I'm repping my guy Nipsey, so long live Nipsey. So
Long live nephew. That's our boy right there. Long live.
Yeah, I definitely did my research on you, so I got some questions, but I'm gonna let my girl Nene kick it off. But yeah, I definitely got some questions for you, my sister.
So we're gonna get right into it. Who is Kenya Ware? Where did you grow up?
Ooh, Kenya Ware. I like to say my younger days, like kid days, was Culver City, but then moved to the Black Beverly Hills, known as Baldwin Hills. That's what my adolescent. That's where it kind of took its course. You know, that's where I was made there in Baldwin Hills. So I always give Baldwin Hills their plug, always. And that's the heart of LA. That's they call that the Black Beverly Hills because all the affluent Black people, you know, they moved there in the 70s and 80s, and that was our home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how did you get started?
Oh Lord! At the beginning, I used to just plug the whole death row thing, but I said, Kenya, your life started back when you were like 6 years old on the set of Good Times. Like, but my grandmother was best friends with Janet DuBois, which is Rolona, and that was my childhood on television sets, movie sets, right? So I tell people, I'm like, I've been on the set as a child. Janet Jackson, all of us, we were kids on a set early. So that's kind of my first, eyes were there on a movie set, learning about the cameras, the actors, all that, the wigs, makeup, and all that. So I like to say I've been doing this since I was 6. God damn it.
Yeah, you've been doing this a long time.
Man. So
I was watching there, but I was still, learning as a child, how to be quiet. You're at KTLA. They used to film Good Times, and you had to learn to be quiet while they're filming, audience and all that, dressing rooms and all that. So that was kind of my first, insight to that world.
Okay.
Wow. So what was it like as a child being in that space? Because I often say our childhoods often shape who we are and where we end up as adults.
Right.
So how did being around that kind of shape, again, like Nene said, how you got in the industry and really how you got going in the industry? Because again, to me, being a student at such a young age is priceless experience.
Yeah. My grandmother, I never knew exactly who she was or what she did because she knew everybody. 10th birthday party, who hires all the Soul Train dancers, rents out a what do you call it, roller skating rink, flippers. And I remember her being friends with the Commodores. I remember her, just my grandmother knew everybody. And I'm like, well, what does my grandmama do? My grandmother was a housewife, but she knew everybody. So I sit back, I'm like, she was friends with the Commodores, and then my mother, and they knew the Gap Band. And I just remember all these people in and out of our lives, at a young age, the studios. I'm like, I've been in the studio since I was 7. That's what the Gap Band. My mother had went up there. These were their friends. So I'm like, I tell, when me and Dad used to talk about it, and I'm like, I've been in this game when y'all was still babies. I was doing this way before it even popped off. I didn't know. I didn't know. And it was, I look back now, I recently found all my grandmother's pictures from like back in the days.
Mhm.
And my aunt, her sister was promotions at Motown. And I'm seeing all these pictures of Berry Gordy and all the parties they used to go to in the 1960s and 70s. And I'm like, that's where I learned. That's the blood is running thick. It's been in my blood.
It's in your veins.
Yeah.
It's in the veins.
Yeah.
And your entrepreneur drive goes further back than that because your grandfather had his own business. Having a print shop back in the 50s,
Ted
right?
Johnson started. He was one of the first black printers in LA. He started LA Business Printing. God, back in I want to say the 50s, the 60s over there. It's La Cienega and Jefferson by the railroad tracks, and he had the first printing business there, and it's still in our family. It's still my cousin runs it now. So I come from a family of entrepreneurs. All big parties every 5 years. Grandmother would give me a big party, fifth birthday party, 150 kids, 10th birthday party, 150 kids, and I didn't know at that time, what I didn't know. I was humble because
Yeah, yeah.
grandmother taught you humility and love, and she kept God in our lives every Sunday, church, and then IHOP. Go to church, and then we knew we were going to IHOP.
When to get you
So
some food. I hear that.
yeah.
You got a question?
Yeah. Oh man. Look. So I kind of before I ask my next question, what did you say your grandfather's name was again?
Ted Johnson, and he was part of the Tuskegee. He went to Tuskegee. He graduated from there, and he used to tell us stories that he was a part of the Tuskegee Airmen. I don't have that confirmed, but Ted Johnson was the man.
Okay. Well, and the only reason I asked is because my grandfather's last name is Johnson, and he owned a gas station back in the 40s and 50s when it wasn't a thing. He had, things like that. So I don't know if we could possibly be related, but I might have to look.
We never
That,
know. Come on.
it's just crazy because I contribute a lot of that to my blood because I grew up watching the gas station being run and multiple businesses and things like that. So but again, I don't make it about me. We want to make it about you because this is
Hey, you might be my little baby cousin. Don't play.
Hey, I don't know. We definitely might have to talk offline. But uh, what are some of the challenges that you've experienced while navigating this industry? Because things are good, but I know things also can be rough and like we said in the beginning, before we jumped on air, adversity kind of builds character. So I know
Yeah.
in this industry you got to have thick skin. So I'm sure you've been through some experiences that later on in life taught you, okay, I got to handle business a certain way.
Yeah, I mean, being an African American woman has been hard. I mean, in this fan business, I mean, double edged. I mean, you got, the men. I've had to fight, even the first documentary I did, right? And again, I'm filming all that back in the late 90s, the late 90s, but it's coming together in 2000s, the early 2000s. I had to fight so much because they didn't respect women in film at that point.
Mm-hmm.
It's the beginning. Documentaries were not very popular in a woman. So this I had a white lady at Starz who helped me and ended up giving me that deal because she knew everything I was going through. It was another woman just helping another woman because there was so much tape. They still don't want us to move. They don't want us to move. I mean, every direction you got to fight. You got to fight. But I'm up for the fight. My grandmother fought. I'm gonna fight.
That's
No
right.
means yes to me. If you say no to me, then that means yes because I'm gonna keep on coming.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I love it. I love it.
So
Yeah.
tell us about the teenage entering the 20-year-old Kenya Ware where you come to meet Eazy-E and how that started.
God. So I remember the first time. before this is aside from my Tracy, that's my best friend who was with that was dating Easy. I remember 1989 New Edition concert, and we're backstage, me and my crew, and I remember the first sighting of NWA, and we were frightened of them because we coming up from Baldwin Hills, we're supposed to be looking at New Edition or the preppy guys, not
Yeah.
the gang bangers. So I remember seeing them for the first time at New Edition concert. I'm like, oh God, no, 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 no. We can't even look that way. You know, pe-
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
People are flirting with us. We're flirting back, and we're like, no, no, no. Mama's not going to accept that. So it comes back around when Tracy has a baby for Easy, and I'm around her and I get to know them, and I'm like, oh, these are nice guys. I mean, you have a in your mind, you're like, they're killers. Oh my God, they're from Compton. Oh, you have all these things that you've been told. The
Mhm.
sweetest person. Tracy, my friend, introduced me to him while they were dating, and we spent a lot of time with him at the middle of his career, a lot of ups and downs. And I kind of learned that whole rap world. I'm like, I don't know if I want to be around this because it was a lot. It was women, and I remember Tracy, I always had to fight off these women, and I'm like, oh no! I said everywhere we went, because she had the baddest car, the baddest everything, and we pull up,
Mhm.
and these women were automatically like, who the hell are they? I'm like, who do you think? Okay, we the girls from Baldwin Hills. Don't play with us.
That's right. That's right.
So you kind of learn about you know the groupies and the music and the women and all that. But it was on a lower scale. When you got to death row, it went, it was on a different scale. It was on a whole different scale. Easy in them, people were more frightened to approach them. When
Okay.
death row came in and Snoop Doggy Dogg came in, I just remember one time we were in Philly, and this is like the Snoop is becoming popular, and this is the day I knew he was popular. We
Mhm.
came in the mall in Philly, and the whole mall chased us out. They had to escort us out like the back entrance.
In Philly?
And I'm looking at Snoop like, damn, they like you like that?
Dang.
Like it just grew. I remember the first time being in the mall with Daz after he got it on got on TV a few times, or they noticed him,
Mhm.
and it was in Vegas, and a girl came up to him, can I have your autograph? I'm like, why do you want his autograph? He's a star. I'm like, oh.
That's right.
I
That's
I
right.
remember them growing, this growing from nobody noticing them to the world.
Mm.
How did you meet Daz? Because
Yeah.
I hear the story and it's always comical to me, but I want to hear Kenya
Uh,
tell it.
well, I mean, as you know, Tracy introduced me to Suge and all them, and when upon hanging out with them, they had just discovered this guy out of Long Beach by the name of Snoop Dogg, and
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
we always used to hang out. And then one time Snoop came along, and I was like, "Oh, he's so cute! Look at his little hair." He was just a nice guy, and we all started just hanging out, friends. And then one day he was like, "You know what? I'm gonna introduce you to one of my cousins," and I immediately was like, because you're on looks at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, how does he look? He
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and he said, yeah, he looks like me. I said, you better not be lying. I said, he looks like me. He's my cousin. I said, where is he? Oh, he's in Oklahoma. I'm like, what? Well, when he come in, what am I gonna do here? What am I gonna
Yeah.
do in Oklahoma? No, he's moving out here because he gonna rap with me. And I'm like, okay. So it was like the drum roll, and I'm waiting for this guy to get down here from Oklahoma. And I remember I think it was Century Club. It was somewhere, I think it was Century Club, and Daz is there. And I'm finally gonna have this meeting. Everybody knew Kenya and Daz were gonna finally meet. Snoop done set it up. Dr. Dre was commenting on it. Everybody just knew. So me and Tracy, like the fly girls we are
Mhm.
still, we hopped
That's
out of
right.
her little Acura Legend. It was on rims. I had my Dooney and Burke purse, diamonds on. I was fly. I'm like, I'm going to meet my potential whoever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see when I seen Daz, I was like, now he gets mad at me because he's like, "Well, you talking about me? I'm not talking about you, Daz. I promise." It was just that I was a fly girl. I was a fly girl then. I mean, and you were just getting in. You were just getting in the industry. You were not there yet.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm already up here, college girl, fly girl, everything, and I'm like, okay. I said,
Snoop,
why? I said, Snoop, that
Snoop
he
done
don't look.
hyped him up. He done hyped
Yeah,
him up.
yeah. I said, Snoop, you guys are not twins. He does not look like you. You know, they're cousins, first cousins, but I was, I was on a different level at that point. My mind was like, ego was a little bit, because I'm getting hit on everywhere, and I'm young, and the ego's going, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
but Daz was relentless. He was like, nah, I done met a girl and she got a car and a job. Nah, she ain't going nowhere. And that dude, I promise you, he would call me, call me, call me. So he got to the point where he started calling me from the studio. You got to get up here. They're going to kill us. He would make up anything for me to come up there and give him a ride back home. Him and
Oh,
Corrupt. They going I remember I was on a date with this one guy, preppy guy. I went back to my regular structure. He
uh-huh.
called me up. He's like, they're going to kill us at the studio. You got to come up here and pick us up. I'm like, and I'm thinking, well, what happened? Oh my God. I don't know. Left my date, went up there and picked him up. And he just like, you ain't going nowhere, so you might as well come on. Let's just work it on out. And I'm like, well, if we're gonna be together, I'm just gonna have to get you the way I want you, and I'm gonna buy you some clothes since I do work at Nordstrom's, and I just start. Every check, I'm like, okay, I can buy him some Cortez, and I can buy him some Levi's, and then we're gonna get him a cool shirt and some
Oh,
socks.
man.
Oh yeah, oh
All
yeah.
right, man.
Yeah, had him right. I said, "Oh yeah, you right. Here you go. Here you go." So, hey, I got him right.
That's right. That's right. You gotta do what you gotta do.
And you both have a child together. So that, see how it worked out?
That oh my God, Imani, and Imani is grown. I said, Daz, your daughter's 29. Well, I don't care. I'm still 21 too. I'm like, no, you're old now. Come on now, we're older. We started young, but we older now. Come on.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And embrace that wisdom. Embrace that
Oh,
wisdom.
I'm okay with it because I'm like I tell people I done seen the promised land a couple times in this industry. Okay, I don't regret anything about Death Row, anything good, bad, ugly. I don't regret it. It was one of the best times. Ruthless Death Row, best times to live in hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Best.
I believe.
So tell us about Death Row, like your experience and me
Mm,
Suge.
God,
Because I
Death
have a
Row.
story when I met Suge, so I want to hear your story about meeting
So
Suge.
Suge tells everybody to this day, and he did meet me before Snoop and Daz. So he's, he
Mm-hmm.
makes it clear. But I remember Suge telling me around the first time, he's like, I like you because you're not like all them girls out there. Every time I see you and you come and hang out with us, you always have I always carried my backpack because there was always homework to do at Cal State Northridge. I was going to college. And he says, I respect you. He said, because all y'all, your little friends around, they up here trying to get at artists and stuff. I always see you in the corner doing your homework. I'm like, yeah, I told him I would come out, but I got finals tomorrow. So
Mm.
if we gonna sit and we all partying in this hotel room, I'm gonna sit over here and do my homework because I got stuff to do. I gotta get this grade.
Mm-hmm.
So
Priorities.
he respected me for that, and he kind of took a role, like a big brother role, telling me, Kenya, I know, you're with Daz and whatever, but things don't last forever. Beauty's temporary, intelligence is forever. I need you to always get your own. Do not ever depend
Mm.
on him. You get your own. And I remember that moment he said that. He's like, I love you to death, but you don't, your beauty will fade. Get your own life. And I took it and ran with it because things change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But Suge always made sure that whenever I needed something, it was there. My daughter, the first house we bought, we had went from, studios, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom. We definitely climbed the ladder. And then the first house we bought, I remember I found a house. Marcus Johnson, the basketball player, his wife was a real estate agent and a friend of the family, and she helped
Mm-hmm.
me find this house in Silver Lake Hills.
Mm.
But 3 acres of land, big
Mm.
old house behind gates, security guard at the gate, the perfect situation, to protect these upcoming artists. Um, Suge said, okay, you want this house? I'm like, yeah. He gave us, Daz was making the money, but he gave me $150,000 cash, $150 cash to put down on the house.
Mhm.
That Imani came along. Suge built her a playground. We had a playground, and he put the first big old Little Tykes toy set out there, big old thing. Um, Baby showers. Him and his ex-wife used to always take care of us. Furniture in the house, made sure it was always done. When I needed a car, gave me $50,000 cash to go get one off the showroom floor at that point, and that was at 84. So I'm always going to have something to say good about him because he was good to me.
Mhm.
And and for Death Row, it would never be another Death Row. I mean, he took care of everybody. We
Never.
No.
when we flew, we all flew first class, not just Snoop Dogg because he was a star. No, everybody. That was if Danny Boy or if it was Joel or if Lady Ray, Nate Dogg, we were all in first class. We all had nice hotel rooms. He kept us all nice. Everybody was treated good.
Wow.
You know, so I have good things to say about Death Row. Of course, the guys, paperwork might have been sketchy. A lot of things might have been sketchy, but everybody had a roof. Everybody's mother was eating.
Mm.
Everybody's kids were in private schools.
Mm.
Everybody had their money coming in each month. They stipend. It was never like your lights are going to be cut off tomorrow, ever.
Mhm.
That's what's up.
And see, that's what I've always heard, like talking to different people, like K9 and a couple of other people. They always say, and I get that Suge had certain methods that were probably extreme or
Yeah.
unorthodox that
Yeah.
some people would consider,
Yeah.
but they say he always made sure his people ate, they got paid,
Always.
always. Um,
Never. Your mama needs something. You in an argument with your man, and you need to stay somewhere, another hotel. I got you. It was always a call away. It was always a travel agent there. It was always an accountant there to make sure that there were any kind of dire straits. It was taken care of.
Mm.
and I remember when I first met him back in early 2000 when I was out in LA, visiting my family and at the BET Awards, and when we were leaving out the Kodak Theater after the show was over with, he was standing around a crowd. So I approached him just to, see if I could get a picture with him or whatever. And he
Hmm.
was like, sure. And some of his people were kind of trying to move me out the way. He was like, wait a minute, no, don't. We're not gonna do that.
Right.
So we ended up taking a picture, and it was so funny because I was kind of moving to the side so other people can kind of, talk to him if they wanted to. And I heard a lot of people asking him, "Hey, is that your little sister? Like, is that your sister?" And my cousin that was with me at the time, she was the one that was taking the picture. She was like, "Nee, y'all do look like y'all can be
Y'all related.
That would be crazy.
related."
That would be crazy.
But he was so sweet. Like he was really, really sweet to me. Really sweet to me. Um,
And that's real good to hear these positive stories, because I think they like to paint our people always in a negative image. So it's great to hear the good that, because again, nobody's perfect. So
No.
it's great to hear that. Were you around with Tupac or?
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
Oh my
I know
God.
you I know
Yeah.
you I know you got a Tupac story.
Oh yeah, Tupac. Of course, when he was in jail, Daz would write him, and we were hopeful that he would get out. Interscope Records left him hanging.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot. They left him hanging,
Mm.
but Suge magically, David Kenner, whoever the powers that be, they got him out. And when he got out, I hear people, oh, I gave him this party. I'm like, stop lying. Me and Daz gave him his first party up in Silver Lake on Benton Way, behind the gates. It was us. Thank you very much. And
Oh, man.
we had that's the first I was that's the day that they Pac wasn't involved in the song I Got My Mind Made Up. It was originally Daz, Inspector Deck, Method Man, Redman, Rage, Corrupt. And they had recorded that song prior to Tupac getting to our house
mhm.
that evening. And that was maybe like a couple days or so after he was released. And they gave him a Benz, jewelry, money. He was a kid in the candy store. And I remember him coming up. Me and Dad's had a long hill, a driveway. It was a long driveway, and we had iron gates, and we had to, open the gates to let him in. It was our
Mhm.
little mansion on the hill. And I remember he came up that hill, bumping, and everybody's heart was just beating because he was just in jail, and he's out, and we were just so excited, and he was just so happy to be out, like just a kid. It was great. He was there, Suge and him. That was Suge's best friend. I mean, he finally had a friend. When Tupac came, they were friends. They everything they did together. Um, Pac was very protective over black women. He
Mm-hmm.
was very protective. I mean, he did not like anybody, boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever. He didn't like any kind of disrespect. He would definitely pull your coattail as a man if he was in the presence of you disrespecting your woman, or you saying something negative about a black queen. He did not. He took that very, very, very personal, and that's kind of how we became close, because he just, of course, men are out there cheating. I mean, that's what they do.
Yeah.
But Pac takes it serious if you are his, sister or friend. He got that doesn't sit well with him. And him and I became close over that. We would have many conversations about relationships and all those things. It was, he had a lot of good advice, because I'm young and I've been thrust into this world of women, and this guy who, they didn't know who they were up until, like, at that point. Now they're stars, and
Yeah.
everywhere you go they're women. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I mean, we had so many, Snoop's wife and I had so many people, because we didn't know anything about that. And I remember, between Tupac and then Lamont Dozier, the writer Lamont Dozier, his
Mm-hmm.
wife Barbara Dozier used to take me and Snoop's wife to this restaurant, this real fancy restaurant called La Dome, and she would school us on how to handle the groupies in the industry.
Mm.
Shout out to Shantae.
Yeah, she would school us, and we would sit up there and just listen to her. Now, Barbara Dozier was a white woman, Lamont, and she was a white woman that took us under her wings, because her husband had wrote all the. He was Motown. He was the songwriter for Motown. Lamont
Mm.
Dozier was the man, and that woman, rest in peace, Barbara, and Lamont, took us under her wings and taught us the game. The game.
Legendary.
Yeah,
Man, Pac was definitely taken away from us too soon. Like,
yeah.
where do you think he would be right now? Like, I can literally see him right now doing a track with Kendrick. Where do you think he would be right
Pac
now, 2024?
if Pac was here right now, I think he would have learned from the beef. He would have grown up out of that beef, and he would have realized that it was just a whole bunch of male egos, a whole bunch of the haters around you, and how to clean up your crowd and how to keep people away from you. He would have perfected that at that point. Because he trusted too many dudes that were
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah.
And I think half the beefs that we are in now, he would be like, no, I've been through it. It didn't end well, so let's do this. He would shift it at this point if he
Yeah.
were still here. I think he would have done that. I mean, Pac wasn't. He was angry at the people he called friends. He just felt, like, I remember, because I was with him the last 15, 20 minutes before he died, and you can just tell that he just felt like, if I'm your friend, like, we say we're friends, we're supposed to be riding for each other, right, at
Mm.
all costs. And that night, being in Vegas reflected who his friends were, because it was a split at that point. I mean, people were not seeing eye to eye,
Mm-hmm.
and I took Pac's side at that point, because I just he I'm going through hell over here in my world, but this is the positive over here, because he's always looked out for me. It was just a lot going on, and Pac just wanted loyalty. Loyalty, meaning that if I'm your friend, that I got to ride with you no matter what it is. I don't care what it is. I'm riding with you regardless, good, bad, or ugly. You're my friend. And that's what he couldn't. He like, "Oh, we supposed to be friends. I don't care about all that. You ride with me no matter what, because I'm gonna ride with you." And that was the crack, that loyalty thing. We wouldn't have as Pac. We wouldn't have as much as disloyal people around if Pac
Mm.
was there. I think he would have cleaned that up. Because he made a lot of mistakes. In trusting. And just in trusting
Like
people.
accountability. You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah,
mean? I know
yeah.
he was big on accountability.
Yeah.
Accountability, black love,
Good call.
just being true to yourself, and sticking to who you if I'm your friend, I'm gonna ride with you no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is this: you'll never hear me disrespecting Pac, Suge, Snoop, any of them. Daz gets on my nerves, but I'm not gonna disrespect him. And I'm not gonna let nobody else disrespect him. It's not gonna happen. What we do in our family is
Mm,
family business.
Right.
Our family business is solid. I
that's
don't
right.
care. I can fuss at him, but I dare a man on the street to come at him. It's gonna be a problem. We all going to war because if we family, then that's forever. I'm not gonna sit there and disrespect him. That's not nobody's business what we go through. We're family. So
Yep,
if they stuck to that code, we wouldn't have all this going on. If you're my family, then we taking it to the grave. That's all. This it's gonna be that way.
that's it.
Side
Yeah.
note, because you got a birthday coming up, and I'm pretty sure Gemini season. Happy early birthday. I'm
Yes.
pretty sure y'all would be celebrating y'all birthdays together if he was here.
Oh
Um,
my God.
and
Pac
I
would
know
be.
Poppy
He would be
Q.
in Vegas. We would just. It would be our annual thing to be in Vegas because we had fun like just wilding out in Vegas. Why we would have. Oh my God, we would have so much fun.
I don't know Pac and Q birthdays are a day apart.
Yeah.
So I
Cute.
think say Cube is the 15th and Pac is the 16th.
Yeah. Gemini love.
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
about the
What are
June.
your plans for your
Yes.
birthday?
Huh?
What are your plans for your birthday? What's your
Oh,
theme?
all month. Oh, it's a party all month.
I
I'm taking
already saw
it
the
every day.
post.
Oh God, yeah, L.A., Vegas. We on the road.
I hear that.
Oh, we on the road again. Yes, we are.
That's right. That's right. That's
I
right.
have- I got to go from place to place. I got to go see all my friends because last year I had a big old yacht party and Bobby Brown performed on there. So people are
Mm,
like, "What are you gonna do this year?" I'm like, it's
yeah,
gonna be a whole month of everything. How about that?
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. I like that. Well, shoot. I like we touched on Pac. I think this is gonna be a perfect transition. So, how was it going from the music industry into the film industry? And
It was a no brainer.
yeah, and what was that transition like?
Hmm. Well, it's simple. Pac died. I said, "Fuck music." When
Okay.
he
Mm,
died, hip hop was dead after that. When Pac died, and we didn't get it was no closure,
It
no
was, and
funeral,
it's to a
not
degree. It was like a
yeah,
dark
we,
cloud.
we were all
Every-
lost. You
I
know,
cried.
yeah, we were all lost, and I hated hip hop. You know, I hate it. And then you got, we're trying to recover, and then Biggie dies. That was something else. I mean, Biggie should have never been down here. I don't blame him for what happened. He was an artist to an artist to artist. It was what it was. Other shit took place. That was bigger than them. But it just hip hop was dead when Pac died. It was like Death Row was over with. I can't even say Death Row like. I appreciate what Snoop is doing. I really, really do. For this new thing. But when Pac died, it was just like that whole
it just
vibe.
lost the yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
To now start dealing with television. And I would take my Mecca, the whole line, spring line, whatever, and I would be up on every television set, movie set, concert, making sure that these artists wore my brand.
Mm.
I remember in the dressing room, it was a Destiny Child and John B concert. I was in Destiny Child's dressing room. I'm like, girls, put this on now. Okay, this is cute. Beyonce's, all of them are changing clothes, putting on the dresses and stuff. I need a picture because we're going to put this in the magazine.
Mm.
John B. Everywhere I went, I had everybody rocking. I had Snoop rocking it. Everybody on the West Coast was wearing that Mecca because of me. I
Wait.
had everybody.
Yeah, because your fashion sense, Kenya, is
Oh
crazy.
wait.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
see how you became, and we're gonna talk about that. But your
Oh
fashion sense is
man.
yeah,
sick.
yeah.
Okay.
Mecca. I brought that Mecca to LA, and I made sure everywhere, sister, whatever show was on, they were gonna put this on right now, and they're gonna be in Mecca USA. They listened to me. They like, all right, Keenan and Kel. Wherever I went, okay, guys, this is what you're wearing tonight. Okay. I became the queen of clothing at that point. I'm like, music is done. Now we're in clothing.
And see, this is where people need to know that Kenya Ware is more than just being attached to Death Row. Kenya Ware is
Yeah.
so many things that people don't even know.
Man, you the reason I brought some Mecca back in the day, because I was watching them shows like, oh, okay, because we could dress like our favorite artist back then.
Wait, so Mecca came along. So once going up on movie sets, I'm like, there's a person on movie sets that dress people, and I did not know that title. So I'm like, well, what are you doing? And the person was like, oh, I do all the costume design and costumer on movies. I'm like, well, I want to do that too. So they're like, oh, they were like, oh, yeah, it's a 10-year waiting list. I'm like, really? Okay. So of course I asked a couple people. My friend was the designer on Moesha. Nobody's giving me information. Everybody's like, no. So I'm like, all right, I'll get it myself. I found out how to get in the union. I sent the resume in. I put my charm on, and all I know is I was hired within a week. That took a lot of people 10 years to get in. I got in. I got in this union thing. I had to do 30 days at this costume house, but it was a 10-year wait list at that point. And I'm like, don't talk about my guy, because I said my guy and I have a little different frequency going on here. I don't know who y'all pray to, but I got hired within a week.
Blessed and highly
that was
favored.
destined for you. What is it like working with, and we talked about this over the phone, what is it like working with New Edition and Bobby Brown? Like, just.
Oh my God. My brother says it best. Said, Kenya, these were the guys that when you were young, you would just die for. And now they're my brothers. I mean, Bobby, his wife and I, first of all, grew up together as kids. So Bobby's like family now, like all of them. I mean, some mornings, me and Mike Bibbins are trying to, I'm on the phone with him in morning time, trying to come up with ideas on different things for their tours and stuff, like specialty jackets. And Mike is all, Kenya, I know you're a designer, but I do that too. And I'm like, these guys were my idols growing up, and now they're my brothers.
Wow.
They're my brothers.
You gotta that's this.
They're my brothers that I'm rocking with. I go on. I'm behind the stage. Ralph, put on this. This is cute. All right, Bobby, put these. Kenya, he'll call me up at 10 o'clock at night. Kenya, I need those Air Force Ones. Can you find those, because I want to? We're getting an award. I need them tomorrow, by 2 o'clock. I'm like, tomorrow by 2 o'clock. Okay, I'm always gonna figure it out for Bobby. Bobby knows. I will wake up in the middle of the night to make sure that he's on his plane tomorrow with his whole suitcase packed. We'll go over there, pack the suitcase too, to make sure he's right. That's my brother.
That's right.
And nobody's still touching Bobby. Bobby is the king of R&B. If it wasn't for Bobby, there would be
nobody.
Usher, songs, Kelly, Aaron Hall. Like, Bobby's energy, his work ethic, skills. I mean, it is unmatched until this very day. And he seemed like such a genuine soul. And I always hear people tell stories about how genuine he is.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby is a family man. He's a husband. He's a friend. He is just Bobby, any given day, if he's not on tour, he's like, I'm over here watching movies. I'm good. He's a homebody now. He did all the partying. He did all that. He enjoys his wife, his kid. But he will come out and party with Kenya and hang out with me. Okay, I'll come out tonight, hang out with you. I'll come out. Otherwise, he's like, I ain't going out.
That's
good
right.
guy. That's my brother. And shout out to Alicia. That's my sister for life. I love them. They know I'll get up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
She seems like she is so good for him. Like, she takes care of him so well. Because considering everything that he's gone through,
credit to Alicia.
Probably would have given up. And to see Bobby just keep going, because he has so many people in his corner and he got so many fans. I wouldn't even consider fans. I wouldn't even consider myself a fan, like extended family, because there's so many people that love him that just want Bobby. You got to keep pushing. We want,
the win.
Absolutely.
His wife is she's the reason why. His faith in God and his wife. That's why he is here. That's why he is sober and healthy and happy, and his businesses are thriving. Bobby Brown Foods, everything is going well. Everything is going well.
That's what's up.
You got
Yeah.
another question?
Yeah. What was it like meeting the late great Nipsey Hussle?
Nephew. That's he's my, I call him my nephew. I remember I was living in Atlanta, you remember, for 8 years. So, Big U, he would the whole time I was out in Atlanta, Big U would come there to make sure I was safe. Him and Suge simultaneously the whole time from 2005 to 2013 kept made sure I was safe in Atlanta, because I only moved down there because my mom had passed away, and I was like, I'm getting away, and found out that was a movie town, start working on movies. But both of them would come down there and check on me. Um, bro was Big U. He was, I think at that point he was managing Nipsey, and I would hear all about the stories of this little young cat, long t-shirts, selling his tapes, grinding harder than most. He wanted it. That dude was hungry for it.
Yeah.
I would hear Snoop talking about it. Crub was like, "It's a dude out here, Kenya. He look just like Snoop. Oh my God, he's from the neighborhood." I'm like, "Really?" And I had met him, through phone calls, and then came back home, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right." He opened up the doors over there for Crenshaw and Slauson. He loved his hood. He loved his people. He was loyal, die hard loyal to his people.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the reason why he's not here, because he loved hard. He trusted hard, but he wouldn't have changed it for the world. I don't care if I'm like, well, Nipsey, you could have just moved out of here. He would have never not
Yeah.
been around that neighborhood every day. It's his bloodline. He would have never said, okay, I'm just going to move to Brooklyn, New York, and I'm going to be away from my people. It would have never happened. That was first, before the music. And fortunately, you do have haters. I mean, you have to understand, in every game, people see the little you, but when you grow, they all expect to go with you. They all want to go. They have an expectation of, you're supposed to help me out. I know I watched him grind. I know he had to do all that himself, but
Mm-hmm.
I want it free.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care. You're supposed to be my homie. You're supposed to help me. That's that syndrome they have out here and everywhere else. The gimme
Yeah.
syndrome. I don't want to work.
They don't want to put the work in.
Speaking
Don't
of
want to. Oh, go ahead.
speaking of Kenya, it's a question that I really want to ask you.
Mhm.
With your longevity, right, in this game,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
being a black woman and so many things coming your way, and me just getting into this space myself,
Mhm.
you see a lot of backdooring,
Mhm.
cutthroat,
Yeah.
and along the way. How do you manage to sustain and
Mm.
stay true to yourself?
You have an expectation. I have to say, I came from death row, so I seen it all. So I had the best teachers to teach me how to keep people away. You can spot a fraudster
Mm.
quickly, but I
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
just give a I just let them know ahead of time. I mean, look, you screw me, don't it's gonna come back to you. So I'm just giving you a heads up. This is what it is, and you give them a heads up. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna back off from and if they know who you are and your pedigree, they're gonna stay away anyway. But they do try. They try women all the time. I mean, for me, I don't. Our guys will try their best. Oh, let me take her out today. Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can get over there. You got the wrong one.
Mm.
My brothers don't even have to step in and say nothing. They don't even have to say anything. They'll just tell you, nah, bro. I'm just telling you right now, you're wasting your time. You know,
One
don't
hundred.
even try. You don't backdoor with that. I said, come on now. I came from the players of all players. You don't think I know the playing game? The guys I hung with invented playing and
Mm.
cheating, doing everything. So I know what. Please go away with that. So I just combat it. It comes in every form. I mean, I'm working now, pushing some projects, and you got to worry about your people that have already made it. They have no intentions on helping you. They are already there. So why should I even help at this point? I don't want to help. I'm already Oscar winner, and I already have all these things.
Mm.
I'm not coming to help you. And It was who was that? That was Zendaya. Her
Mm-hmm.
stylist came out a couple weeks ago, and he says, "Yeah, I'm taking notes because when Zendaya first came out, they went to all the top brands, the Gucci, the Smoochie, all of them, all the brands. They all were like, no, 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 no. So now he's taking notes. Now that she's blown up and they all coming to him, he says, no, thank you. Okay. You said no already. So keep the same energy. So my thoughts are keep the same energy. The ones that close the door, that do fake stuff, that are not real, keep the same energy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And let me give you guys one woman in the industry, black woman in the industry that's been, if I call her at 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, I need you to sign this. I'm doing this project. Can you sign on to it? I just need your name. Oh, no problem. Wake up out her sleep and sign it because she's my girl. Vivica A. Fox, the most loyal
Mm.
person in this industry in Hollywood. And I know everybody. I
Yep.
went to school with everybody. I went to weddings with people. I didn't been there, the good, the bad, the ugly. And out of everybody, the most loyal. Guy wise, Tim Story went to high school with him. He's the biggest director. Tim
Mm-hmm.
would, I mean, he might not be able to move no mountains, but he would sit there for an hour on the phone with me and give me all the advice and say, "Can you do this, that, and the other?" I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Taking
Mm-hmm.
your time, not having your
Mm-hmm.
people answer. Remember, we used to hang. A lot of people. I'm like, how is that? Me and you used to roll in the car, and we used to
Mm.
be. And or I used to work on all your projects, your student projects, when you didn't have no money. But now you can't take my call. Oh, so shout out to Vivica, Tim Story for even giving a damn and having time and not putting your assistant on the phone when we supposed to be friends. I mean, come on. I'm
Well,
just saying.
And to piggyback off of that leads into the highlights of the past few weeks. What do you
Everything.
think about this Diddy situation?
Diddy still owes me money from a video a long time ago, so I ain't got the dog in the fight with him. I don't. That's not my guy. That has not been my guy. This is forget. The domestic abuse, fucked up nigga. But we all kind of knew it was possibly going on. But
Mm-hmm.
just take a step further back. Um, he lost me with Biggie.
He just always seemed disingenuous to me.
He
Like,
lost me with Biggie because Pac was gone a year, and for you to bring your artists out here, um, a year
I was
to the
slapping.
date to
yeah.
the crabs. These people wanted everybody's head from the West Coast. I mean, the East Coast. They wanted everybody. The West Coast was going to eat up anybody who came out here from the West Coast because in their hearts, they thought that
Yep.
this was, they had already written the story that they caused it. So you brought him out here.
He
So
served him up on a platter.
yeah, and he lost me there. And I really never, I mean, my feelings were deep back then. My
Mm-hmm.
feelings were deep with Tupac. With if Tupac didn't like him, so I didn't like him. I'm still loyal to that man. He's gone, but I'm still loyal. And he
Yep.
didn't like him, so I didn't like him. So all this is like I'm looking around like y'all knew all this a long time ago. I thought 25 years ago. I thought we were all clear on
Right.
this.
Thing like our
I
cousin.
thought we were all clear. I thought we were all clear, but we weren't. I
Mm-mm.
was clear. I was clear. I'm keeping the same sentiments as Pot kept it. I don't didn't never f with him. Never, 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 and never, never, never. And
Yep.
this is proven. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have nothing to say because everybody should have known this. I mean, when you have there are certain levels of fucketry and it builds up. If it's unchecked behavior, it builds and builds and builds and builds and builds.
And you see
And
what
when
happens.
nobody corrects it,
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yep.
forget.
Yeah.
Everybody has to be humbled. Money and power bring ugliness. So at some point, Suge, he got humbled because, God humbled him. He didn't take his life. He put him in jail for him to just see life go on without him. But that man didn't get humbled. So, I feel bad for all the women that have suffered behind this. And I read comments. I just like to read to see what's on people's mind. And
Mm-hmm.
what bothers me the most about a comment is they're saying that these women should have known, they should have reported. Well, how you gonna report if you think your life is gonna be taken tomorrow? Like if
Mm-hmm.
somebody's threatening your life and your family's life, you ain't gonna say nothing. You're gonna
And he
take it to
got
the
people on
grave and
payroll.
yeah, you gonna just live with it and go on. You know,
Exactly.
who's gonna do that at that point? Who in their right mind would say anything? You just gonna take that L and go on with your life because you want to live and you want to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
Cassie opened the door. That little young girl that probably weighs 115 pounds opened up the door. What most people couldn't even do. Big guys couldn't do it. Big old guys that carry guns couldn't do it. It took a woman 115 pounds to
She
knock the
blew it
door.
off the hinges.
And
She
now
blew it.
Yeah.
everybody got something.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to keep in mind a lot of those stories. A lot of stuff is bullshit. A lot of stuff is up and down. A lot of if people are gonna come. They're gonna come now. I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
at the Me Too movement with on the movie sets. He
Mm-hmm.
he touched me in through the arm and rubbed me, or he. Why are you reporting that? Look, sock him in his fucking face. He grabs your butt. I'ma sock him. It's gonna be done. I'm going to report it. You're gonna get knocked out at that moment.
Come on,
Case
sister.
closed.
Check it right then.
That's right.
It's gonna be checked, and I'm gonna knock you out. But these relationships, this domestic abuse is ugly. You don't know. I know. I mean, it happened in my family. My cousin's mother, my aunt, she was trying to divorce a man, and he shot her in the head, blew up the car, and then killed himself. So I know what domestic.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Can't unsee that video. That right there opened up his eyes to who he is, and it's a lot of P.
Yep.
Diddy's walking around. It's a lot of them. It's a lot of them. And I hope it stops at this point, you
Yeah.
know, or these women get their pistols and handle their business.
Yep. Yep.
Period.
You got another
Yep. Oh
question?
yeah, I got one more for you, close. Yeah. So what does Kenya have coming up? What can they be on the lookout, and what are you currently working on?
Kenya is still so. I acquired in 2020. Acquired the life rights to the Raymond Washington story, and Raymond was the first. He started. He's discovered 13, 14 years old. He started the Crips, and his mother. We just buried her in January. Very close to me. I was on the phone with her in hospice and trying to get her straight. She died 94 years old, and her promise was, Kenya, tell my baby story. I'm pushing it out there. I mean, it's very hard. A woman standing to tell the first Crip story that would be
Mm.
on TV. It's hard. I mean, it's extremely hard because it's never been done.
Mm-hmm.
And being the fact I'm a woman, I've been in the neighborhood. I know all about the Crip history. I know about the Bloods. I know about all that. And we're gonna do the Raymond Washington story. That's up. But then I also have to give the Bloods story too, because you can't. You have to be fair with it. I want to
Hey.
give them an opportunity to tell the birth of their story.
Mm.
You have to give them everybody that, because it'll calm tension down. And when you give people the light, because everybody has a story, but I don't want to tell current. I'm going back to the beginning on how the Crips started. The Bloods were over here. I mean, the Crips were over here. They broke off and started the Bloods. I want that story to be told all the way into the 70s. And then I'm
Yep.
going to leave on once the wars start coming and the gang violence and the guns, I shut it down. But
That's gonna
that's
be.
what I
I
push.
can't wait to see that.
Oh yeah, we are it's been hard, y'all. I mean, oof, Lord, like I mean, I said, well, every mafia movie gets put out, every cartel movie gets put out. So what is the deal? Why won't they
And it's
give
embraced.
Yep.
what happened?
It's embraced.
And it's
Oh
embraced.
yeah. Yeah, and it's not when they do mafia movies, they're not glorifying it. They're telling the story of how this happened, or the cartels are telling. I mean, they get grimy with theirs, but they're telling the story.
Yep.
Let's tell our story. This is the
Eh,
Raymond story, and I'm speaking for Raymond now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's important for us to tell our stories.
Yeah,
This is why we have to get in these spaces and be a part of, creating our own projects.
yeah. But we did. I got a great lawyer team. I got Bobby's attorney. That's my guy, Chris. He pushes hard. Um, we we're gonna see it through. I promised that lady, Miss Violet, which is Raymond Washington's mother, before she died, we're gonna do this, and I'm gonna keep as a Black woman. We will tell that story, and we will save some lives with it. Because if they only knew how this Crip and gang banging started, it was not to hurt brother to brother. It was for protection, to stay together and be
Yep.
loyal. So let's tell that story.
Thank you for that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, that's it. That's me in a nutshell.
So I always, and we're gonna talk later after this. I'm gonna call you later, but
Man.
I always ask my guests if you could impart some words of wisdom to the people out there, what would it be?
I want everybody to stay strong, stay loyal, and each one teach one. Stick to your brothers. Stop killing each other. We got to help each other. We all we got. We all we got. And loyalty means everything. When I say I love you, I do. If I say I'm down with you, I do. If I said I'm down with you 20 years ago, I'm still down with you. I will not flip flop on you. I do really love you, and people need to start sticking to that. The love, we need love, y'all, because we breaking apart and we looking bad. So stick together, you guys. If I say I love you, and I love y'all now, y'all are my friends. So you don't have to worry about me doing no fucketry.
Love. Yep.
Love.
That's so right. Important.
No, and I think what you said is so beautiful, because that's been a reoccurring theme with a lot of our guests closing out, right? Mm-hmm. It's along those lines, right? Like, we need each other, right? Like, they're sitting back watching us fight. Yeah. They're watching us tear each other down. They don't even have to do anything anymore, right? It's kind of on autopilot, but again, it just goes back to us being our own answer, us being our own solutions. And that's why my sister created this platform, and I joined her, because again, this is a safe space for people to tell their stories, and this is what we need, because people can take gems from this and grow from this and learn from this. And on this side, I definitely appreciate it. It's been nothing but amazing. I feel like we're gonna have to do
about healing
a part two, but yeah, and I appreciate it. You giving us your time, and I like what you said. Once we've touched, it's kind of like family, and I would love to keep it up. If I can get your contact from Nene, I'm not a worrisome person. I'm always the type to, like, if you got something going on and I can help or add to. Nene knows that, and I just want to learn. So I definitely appreciate.
I love helping. My middle name is help, and I do it because I reciprocate. I love to give back, because God always brings it back to me. So yes,
I love it.
Thank you so much, Kenya, for joining us. I greatly appreciate it.
Tell them where they can follow you at. Those who may not be following on here.
All across the board. Just look up Kenya Ware if you want to Google me, because some people want to Google you. Who is she? And then some people want to go on IMDb to see how many jobs she had. Kenya Ware. Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. I'm Kenya Ware. That's it. Follow me everywhere. Start off with Google. You can find everything you want to know about my life.
A woman of many hats.
Trust me, she's not lying, because when Nene said this is what we got, and I did my research, I was like, I just kept scrolling.
Yeah,
it was like, and like I said, I have more questions I didn't even get to, so I said we definitely gonna have to do this again, or just again if I just text you whatever. Hey, what do you think about this or whatever? I just love to pick people's brain.
Because I'm older than you, so I rather share the wisdom with you guys. You guys, and you got to give it back to I want my young people to have the history to keep on going and going and going. You need to know it.
I love it.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So see you later. Thank you for having me.
All right,
no problem. We're gonna have you again on the show, and we're gonna connect definitely when I come back out there. But
let me know.
Because I was almost out there in late June. I don't know now after this conversation. I think I might still plan on coming out there. I was
all you got to do is
invited to the BET Awards, but I don't know if I really wanted to go in that. So, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, let me know. I'm here. I'm just a phone call away.
Okay.
All right, my sister. Well, you have a blessed day and a great evening and a great weekend.
Everybody, Kenya Ware.
Kenya Ware. Peace.
Bye, y'all.
All right. Oh, that was dope. Like, do we get there?
The X. Yep. And